Hello and what is going on today, guys? Tomcat here and welcome back to Need for Speed Heat. Now in this gameplay video we are going to be doing some more drifting in the Drift Mustang that you guys saw last week, and what we're mainly going to be focusing on in this video is playing with the physics and really trying to figure out what the game likes, what the physics like, and how the car likes to be driven. And because of that, because I wanted to figure that stuff out, I left this video largely unedited and largely uncut, so you guys could see all of the areas where I messed up and all the areas where I did fairly okay. And I want you guys to see the difference between the two, because this gameplay footage that you're going to see here will really drive home the point that the physics system, as far as drifting goes, really wants you to find that middle sweet spot, if you will. The reason why I say it wants you to find that sweet spot in the middle is because you'll see me throw it in really hard, and you'll see how that completely ruins my slide. So again, with that being said, that is something that you're going to need to be very aware of with the drifting in this game, is that if you throw it too far sideways, it will literally kill your drift. I mean, you are literally done. It literally kills your drift. So you're going to have to really play around with the edge of minimal angle, because as you can see, you throw it in hard and you almost immediately overcook your drift. Almost immediately. It'll shoot to the other side of the road and everything. So you want the car to be at a much more relaxed angle by the time you're coming out of the corner, and do not try to snap the car right back out of the drift. The game does not like it. It does not like it at all. It really wants you to keep yourself as smooth as possible. And this one would have been really good if I hadn't have smashed into that Dodge Caliber. But I ended up overcorrecting and going outside of the checkpoint. So I was like, okay, you know what? We're already here, we might as well restart, so that's what we did. Now, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know that this video has a lot of restarts, so if restarts bother you, you may want to click away right about now. But the reason why this video has a lot of restarts is because I wanted to keep going through and really trying to dial in and figure out what the game liked, because after I did that very first drift video, I wasn't personally satisfied with the amount of time I had spent with it. So I went back and I was like, okay, I'm going to at least try to figure this out a little bit better. I might not be perfect at it, but I'm going to figure it out a little bit better. And that corner right back there is probably one of the best examples I have so far of what this game likes. It likes a little bit of angle, find the sweet spot, ride out that angle, and then back it back off slowly. It does not like abrupt movements. It doesn't like abrupt transitions, and I barely missed that Dodge Caliber right there. And as you can see, within a few corners, we were already over the score target by doing a couple of corners very smoothly. So smoothness without trying to focus on maximum angle is definitely the way to go here. They definitely want you to focus on being smooth, and don't try to get into a lot of constant back and forth transitions like I did. Again, I was playing with it, trying to figure out what it liked, and it definitely doesn't like a bunch of back and forth transitions like, mangying down a straightaway or anything like that. It doesn't seem to like that, and it doesn't seem to be a fan of it. So it seems to be a fan of setting up in advance for a corner, pitching it sideways a little bit, just a little bit, and then gradually increasing angle as you continue through the corner, but not so much that the car snaps back the other way and transfers all the weight back to the front end. So you definitely need to be meticulous, and you definitely need to focus on what the car is doing, and you need to focus on what the car wants to do, because again, my biggest mistake that I made right there was too much angle on the way into a corner, and if you do that, you're done. Too much angle on the way into a corner, you're done. You need to gradually build up the angle as the corner continues on, like we did back there. So start off with the smallest amount of angle, and then, like I said, gradually bleed the angle in and bleed the angle in and bleed the angle in as you go along. And if you do that, chances are you'll wind up in a much better place in regards to your in regards to your drift score. Because as you saw in the beginning of the previous run, you can get about 20,000 points out of one corner or more if you do it right. So I think that, yes, the score targets are the score targets definitely allow for wiggle room and for learning, which is good. I mean, they don't feel punishing, and I'm sure that there's going to be, drift events later on that are going to be a little bit more challenging than this one, but I think that the fact that it's only like 50,000 points as the required amount, definitely makes it a little bit more inviting, a little bit more usable. So again, back there, as you saw in the very first corner, we started off with a little bit of angle, and we didn't quite add enough, and so the car backed out of the slide, but with that, even with that happening, we were able to kind of pick the slide back up. And what I'm finding out is that it's easier to pick the slide back up from straightening out than it is from giving it too much angle. So if you give it too much angle, you'll lose so much speed that the rest of the corner is pretty much toast. So you basically have to reset, stop, gain your speed back, and then continue on at that point. But if you just straighten out, you'll keep your speed, and you'll be able to just pitch the car right back out a little bit again. So playing around with that sweet spot of angle versus speed is more and more and more proving itself to be the name of the game here. And if that's going to be the name of the game, then that's going to be what we're going to focus on. So again, I keep trying to go for a perfect run here. Not even a perfect run, but just a clean run. I keep trying to go for a clean run here, and I kept having issues with traffic and issues with cars getting in the way. But I think that this is I think that this is good, because I've been getting mixed opinions in the comment section, right? I'll go in and read the comments, and I'll see, especially regarding drift stuff, and I'll see some people say, wow, that's actually a really good thing, that you really need to focus on the balance of it, and you really need to focus on, like, exactly where you place the car. And then, I mean, right there, we scored 16,000 points in the first corner because we were very meticulous about it and did not give it too much angle. So again, I've been seeing some people saying that, wow, that's really good, and I've been seeing some other people that are like, wow, that looks awful. And I think the people that are saying, wow, that looks awful, I think you really need to remember that I have a limited amount of time so far with this drift handling system, and so I need to get more time with it before I feel genuinely comfortable and I really know my way around it to the point where I can really dial in some good runs. And also, too, I think, you need to get it, let yourself get it in your hands first, and really kind of spend some time with it so you understand how it works. And I was trying to be really smooth with that one. Didn't really work. Ended up plowing into a rock, but that's beside the point. And it didn't end up sliding that one at all because there was a couple of trucks filling it. Now, there was a lot of this one that I kind of just drove, and I was like, I wanted to just build up some momentum for the corners so I could have the momentum where I needed it, because it really becomes apparent after a couple of runs that sliding in small increments and trying to like transition back and forth and back and forth and back and forth really does nothing for you. I mean, you might be able to salvage a few thousand points, but that's not going to be anywhere near enough to make a big difference. And as you can see right there, I gave it too much angle, it scrubbed all my speed, and then I slammed into the traffic car, and then that was the end of that. So if there is any one thing that you take away from this video, let it be the fact that if you are going to drift in Need for Speed Heat and you want to get good scores, lay off the angle. Seriously, you have to lay off the angle. Otherwise, you are not going to do well. And the thing about this is, it's nighttime now, and the more times we smash into stuff and, and continue to restart, the more our health bar goes down. So we do have to be very much so aware of that. And I tried to squeeze out a little bit more points there at the end, and it was kind of a good idea, kind of not. I also realized that if you let the car just straighten up, not only do you keep your speed, but it's a heck of a lot easier to keep your multiplier up too. So that's another thing that you want to keep in mind, because a massive part of the point system is obviously keeping that multiplier going, and I almost had a really good transition there, but I actually let myself get just a little bit too much angle. However, that section was by far the best run that I had had, or one of the best runs that I had throughout this entire video, throughout this entire play session, and I figured that the game was going to tell me I missed a checkpoint, but I just kept going and decided to roll the dice, and I ended up being okay, so that was kind of like a bit of a surprise for me. I thought it was going to be like, hey, you missed a checkpoint, get back here, but it didn't, so I kept on going. Now, again, the multiplier is one of the biggest things to keep alive during one of these drift events, and so anything that you can do to keep that multiplier alive, obviously you want to focus on it, but you don't want to try to build the multiplier to the point where it kills your momentum to get more drifts dialed in, because that, like, right there, if you try to whip the car back, oh my god, no speed. Your speed is done and over with. And if you're trying to carry out one of these massive sweepers, that's one of the spots where you're going to actually need the extra speed, so you really don't want to ruin your speed right before a section like that, because if you ruin your speed before a section like that, you ruin a lot of scoring potential for yourself leading on into the future. And by the way, something completely not drift related at all, look at that gorgeous city. That gorgeous city skyline is one of the biggest highlights of this game, and I just love the fact that they put so much effort into that. I think it looks wonderful. I think it looks absolutely insane, and I think it looks just so at home. It makes the game look so at home, and not only that, but you can see the lights up in the hills as well, which adds so much life to the nighttime. But if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys thought of it. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe for more, and I will see you all in the next one. I'll talk to you guys later.